remember the true test. Yep, can they tell us apart?
They've been stars since they were in diapers.
And they just held us and saw if we would cry or not, and we didn't cry, so they chose us.
I remember seeing Mary-Kate's first steps on our Full House stage.
In the next hour, you'll hear how Marykate and Ashley Olsen captivated America.
You got it, dude.
They just looked, kind of cuddly and but they had these enormous round eyes, and I think it must have showed well on the camera.
They were always very sweet children, just inherently sweet and inherently honest, both of them.
And became the aces of Full House.
You know, everyone looks at these twins, and then they go, oh my gosh, it's the twins from Full House, you know, it's Michelle.
You'll discover how these tiny tots became teen tycoons.
I decided at that age they would never be employed by anybody. They would employ the producers, the directors, the writers.
They've kind of created their own cottage industry of Marykate and Ashley being a brand name.
And you'll learn how they survived childhood fame.
So we walk out, we're like, oh my gosh, there were 20,000 people there. It was scary. It was scary.
They kind of got intimidated sometimes because all these people were just coming at them.
This is Marykate and Ashley Celebrity Profile. Marykate and Ashley Olsen were born June 13, 1986 in Los Angeles, California, to Jarni, a former ballet dancer, and David, a mortgage banker. The second and third of 4 children, the girls are fraternal twins.
Well, I seriously think we look nothing alike. You really think that we don't look anything alike? We don't look alike. But I'm shorter. And I'm left-handed. She's right-handed. And I'm a little bit more outgoing.
But others did see a resemblance. The girls began their careers at the tender age of 6 months. Father, David Olsen.
It was pretty much a fluke, because the girls were actually my wife was with a friend of hers that was at the time visiting her child's agent, and they were just running errands during the day, and that was one of them, and it had come up that we had twins.
Well, you know, what we've heard, my mom's friend went in and told my mom, hey, there's an interview for twins for a TV show.
And the agent told my wife at the time, well, how about sending in some family photos? So, because they used twins, I guess, at that age.
So my mom didn't really want to do it, but she did it anyways. And they just held us and saw if we would cry or not, and we didn't cry, so they chose us.
Marykate and Ashley beat out 20 other sets of twins to win the shared role of Michelle Tanner on the ABC sitcom Full House. The show premiered in September 1987.
They had large eyes, and not that they look like little chimpanzees, but they just looked kind of cuddly, and I think it must have showed well on the camera.
Full House co-star Dave Coulier.
I think Marykate and Ashley quickly grabbed a large percentage of the audience by just being really cute and having their little catchphrases like, you got it, dude, and no way, Jose. I think that, because they were so camera friendly, that people just really ingratiated themselves towards those two.
Comedian Bob Saget played Marykate and Ashley's dad.
They were always very sweet children, just inherently sweet and inherently honest, both of them. So that was the character, a wide-eyed, sweet little child starring in a sitcom was not something that we'd seen a lot of, at that time anyway.
Candace Cameron Bure played the oldest sister.
They were great. They were really good babies when they were working, and their temperament was really good, and people liked them, and they seemed to have fun, as much fun as they could.
I remember seeing Mary-Kate's first steps on our Full House stage. And I remember everybody looking, going, "Hey, she's walking." And I remember times when we'd be holding either Marykate or Ashley, and the stage manager would be counting down in 5, 4, 3, 2, and you'd say, "Wait, stop, stop." She just made a mess in her pants.
Child labor laws required a guardian to be on the set at all times. Adria later was hired as a baby wrangler and set teacher.
In my history of being in this business, 25 years, they were probably the easiest going, calmest babies I'd ever worked with. From the very beginning, from the first day, they didn't cry, they didn't fuss.
She was the greatest person ever. I mean, she was like our mom.
She was. She was the one who took us to the set, and she basically taught us how to walk and talk. And we love her so much, and we worked with her till we were about 8.
In addition to serving as the child welfare worker, Adria was the girls' acting coach.
Well, it wasn't like when we couldn't read or
Talk,
we
basically.
would, yeah, talk. You know, when we could just say like single words, Adria would be on the side going, you know, say, "You got it, dude," and then we'd go, "You got it, dude."
You got it, dude.
And they were good enough and understood well enough from the very beginning that even though I was talking to them or feeding them a line, they didn't look at me, they didn't respond to me, they didn't act to me, they just looked at the actor and listened with their ears as to what they were going to have to say and said it.
Whoa, baby.
At the ripe old age of 2, Marykate and Ashley were learning the ropes. Coming up, the girls are thrust into the spotlight.
They kind of got intimidated sometimes because all these people were just coming at them.
And later,
$2? What are you, crazy? If we're not making 10, I swear I'm going home. I mean, we have to be making $10 a week.
by the fall of 1989, 3-year-old Marykate and Ashley Olsen were the most recognizable child stars on television. Sharing the role of Michelle Tanner, the girls helped make Full House a bona fide hit on ABC. Co-star Jodie Sweetin.
You know, everyone naturally just looks at twins. So when they go out, they look at these twins, and then they go, "Oh my gosh, it's the twins from Full House. You know, it's Michelle." And for them, they were a little bit shy when they were younger too, and so for them, I think it was they kind of got intimidated sometimes because all these people were just coming at them.
The twins proved to be the breakout stars of the show.
Hey, where are the bunnies?
The bunnies went bye-bye.
But I love the bunnies.
Oh. Well, it's a good thing. I happened to save one very special, important bunny for you, and I framed him, and here he is.
Now this room is cool.
I remember the first time where we were all out in public together, and I remember Marykate and Ashley kind of getting the most attention because they're so recognizable. You know they're twins, even though, you know, the Michelle character was only one of them at a time on the show.
It's kind of trippy growing up on a hit show, and especially when you're on national television going through every stage and age of your life. And, I mean, they were on it since, what, 9 months or 6 months, and so I think it's kind of bizarre.
When you're a child actor, you have a different life than a regular person that just goes to school and does the school plays, which I think is a healthy road too. Maybe healthier, because a lot is demanded of any person in the public eye.
Early on, it was clear to David Olsen that his daughters were going to be big on Full House, so he sought the assistance of entertainment lawyer Robert Thorne.
I had said I need to see their contract for their television series, at the time Full House, and the parents weren't interested in renegotiating, and I said I think you should and can and must, and really one thing led to another, and 6 months later they let me start that process. They were impressed, they trusted me, and it grew from there.
During the show's 3rd season, Thorne was able to up the twins' salary from $4,000 to $25,000 an episode.
And ever since then, it's been a very good relationship, because He's really been very progressive in his thinking. He has been somebody that's been just, you know, a terrific asset to the girls.
Well, I mean, when he started with us, we didn't have anything, you know.
But even while earning a hefty paycheck, the sisters acted like normal kids. Set teacher, Adria later.
There was one situation where Marykate, where she had to have peanut butter and jelly on her hands because she was making sandwiches for her sisters with her hands.
And I was sitting there, it was like the longest time, and you know when the peanut butter gets all crusty and gross and sticky, and well, after I couldn't put any more on my hands, they're like, okay, just one more time, one more time. I was like, if you don't get this peanut butter off my hands, I will, and I was trying to threaten them. I was like, I'll sing.
And so she just kept singing and just kind of la, 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 la. And she said, no, I will sing.
And I had to go wash my hands, and I came back and did the scene, finished off the scene.
When Celebrity Profile returns.
The white of her right eye, I believe it was all red from, it was bloodshot.
And later.
I found Marykate and Ashley Olsen to be incredibly difficult. I was just chagrined. I was amazed. They are very, very tough.
By 1992, 6-year-old Marykate and Ashley Olsen were enjoying spectacular success on the ABC sitcom Full House.
Michelle, what you doing? Planting my seeds from school. Peas, tomatoes, and broccoli. I'm also planting dessert. M&M's? Michelle, that's like planting a nickel and growing a money tree. Good idea.
As the girls grew, so did their careers and their paychecks. But the twins' father was busy with his mortgage business, and Mom was occupied with 2 other children. The family needed some help.
To have somebody you can rely on to get your kids to the set, and you know she's going to do a good job looking after them, and you know, and then also instilling some values that were consistent with you know, my family.
Jill Zimmerman became the set guardian for Marykate and Ashley.
You know, that's my #1 goal, is to make sure there's stability and a quality of life on set for them that is safe and happy and fun.
Over time, Jill's relationship with the young girls blossomed.
It has changed, obviously, from more of a parental kind of a relationship to, like I say, this more of a big sister, you know, asking all the questions as they get older. The questions that they don't want to ask me anyways.
In the summer of 1992, Marykate and Ashley branched out by starring in an ABC TV movie, To Grandmother's House We Go. It marked the girls' first network appearance in separate roles. Adria later served as one of the film's producers.
A week before we left for location, Marykate was playing in the treehouse and got poked in the eye with a stick. So the white of her right eye, I believe it was all red from, it was bloodshot.
Marykate's eye required time to heal. The crew was able to work around the injury until an important scene with both girls needed to be shot. The producers came up with a solution.
And so we decided to change Ashley's clothes, change her hair, and put her on the other side of the camera. And so for one very long scene in the movie, Ashley plays both parts of the scene. She actually sits at a table and has dinner with herself. And she got a big kick out of that, about playing her sister.
Peanut butter and jelly, peanut butter on top, smooth but not crunchy, and cut off all the crust, please. I'll have the same but extra jelly, please.
While working on the TV movie, Marykate developed a passion.
And that's where I really got into horses, because there's this little pony named 4x4 that, like, I got on after every single I don't know, every single scene.
It was seriously one of the ugliest horses I've ever seen in my
It
life.
was the cutest thing you've ever seen in your life. It was like this little fat
short
pony
and fat.
and had spiked mane and mane. It was so cute.
And all the way home on the airplane, she cried about 4x4, and I thought, well, this is more than just having a good time on that little horsey.
After filming Wrapped, Mary-Kate and Ashley embarked on yet another career. The 6-year-olds recorded an album, Brother for Sale.
It was a really fun experience, and when we were singing and stuff, but it was the longest thing I've ever done in my life. I don't know how long it went on for, but we'd sing each word until it was perfect.
It took like a week to do one song. It was fun though, because it was our first time ever singing something, and it was really not singing, it was kind of talking.
The album sold 325,000 copies, and the TV movie made the Nielsen Top 10 list. The sisters were beginning to skyrocket.
Where the hell did you come from?
You said the H word.
I met with ABC after the tremendous success of one of their television movies and made an overall arrangement for a new television series, several television movies, and several television specials.
Hollywood was talking about the Olsen sisters, especially their new title, Executive Producer.
And if we could control the production process, and if we could control the creative process, it could be a process that's what we wanted, not what someone else wanted. And I decided at that age, 6 for them, they would never be employed by anybody. They would employ the producers, the directors, the writers. And that's the way it's been. And so all the projects have been what they want.
We didn't really make any decisions. We weren't old enough to understand.
Their role was never minimal because they were the linchpin as actresses and promotional entities. They were not involved in the production. Along the way, certain Hollywood elite have found it uncomfortable and have not participated, but for the most part, there's been no problem.
With Mary-Kate and Ashley's ABC deal in place, Robert Thorne had another vision for the girls, as media moguls.
For a real corporation to be the entity to produce the shows and to secure the order from the network and to hire the line producers to physically make it. That was the beginning of a company that I had no idea would end up being kind of a mini studio with 9 or 10 different product categories beyond television.
Dual Star Entertainment was formed, and the Olsen Empire was just beginning. Coming up, the girls set the trends for American teens.
They were like tight spandex shorts with fringe.
And later,
I'm trying to explain it, Mary-Kate.
in 1994, 8-year-old Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen were riding a tidal wave of popularity. They continued starring in the sitcom Full House while taking on projects of their own. Entertainment lawyer Robert Thorne engineered a deal for the girls to participate in a video and book series, The Adventures of Mary-Kate and Ashley.
Like for the adventures, we're like, yeah, we like dogs and horses and Ashley ballet and dancing, so they do books about those things.
Just we give them little ideas and then they write a story about it.
It seemed as if the smallest stars of Full House were larger than life.
So that's why a lot of kids always call the show the Michelle Show. I want to watch the Michelle Show.
To me, nothing changed when they started doing their videos and just other work. They were just totally like on the set, doing their job, did a great job. And when you're that young, and nothing goes to your head. It's not like they're going around bragging about it.
In the summer of 1994, the 8-year-old Olsens made another TV movie. In How the West Was Fun, Mary-Kate and Ashley saddled up as twin sisters who save a dude ranch from evil developers.
We'd like to invite you and your friends to the ranch this weekend and experience How the West Was Fun.
Oh, I'm a very busy man.
That's too bad. We overheard that you're having PR trouble. If we took this story to the media, tough businessman turns down plea from 2 cute little girls.
She was really excited to ride horses, but I was so excited about it because I was on a runway horse during one of the scenes. So that was kind of it for the horse thing.
On this TV movie, Marykate and Ashley emerged as savvy businesswomen.
We were going to work one morning, and Ashley said to me, she said, "Boy, we're working hard on this one, aren't we?" And I said, "Yeah, this is a tough one." And she said, "I hope we're making $2 a week." And Marykate jumped all over her, and she jumped in and said, $2? What are you, crazy? If we're not making 10, I swear I'm going home. I mean, we have to be making $10 a week.
With a hit series, TV movies, and a book and video series, it seemed as if nothing could go wrong for Marykate and Ashley. But in 1995, Full House was canceled after 9 seasons.
So we didn't really know it was like the last show until like people stood up and clapped and gave us flowers and everyone was crying.
I think when Full House was actually canceled, they didn't really understand. You know, we were all sitting in the living room, and Bob Boyette came down and said, you know, I don't think the show's going to be going.
Yeah, it was hard on everybody. We were shooting on Friday night. There was still the discussion that there was a good chance CBS was going to pick up the show. And that was in a time just after Mad About You had come onto the air and Friends had come onto the air, and there was this feeling at ABC that they wanted a mature audience. And so we knew they were dropping us.
And then a couple weeks later, it was like we were doing the last show and the final curtain call, and it was like, hey, it's over now, it's done.
People cry, and it's emotional, and I don't remember what I did. I think I was just kind of sad, got a little teary. It's an ending, and endings are as good as they are sad, obviously. And everybody was going to move on.
We were devastated because we knew that we wouldn't be able to see everyone every single day like we have the 9 years of our lives growing up.
That was the team around them that weren't always with them on a daily basis, so it was hard. It was hard for them. But I think that it's a great memory, and, you know, they stay in touch.
We grew up on that show, and when we see everyone again, it brings back great memories, and we just get chills because we're so happy to see everyone.
The girls suffered a second disappointment in 1995. Their parents, David and Jarni, decided to divorce.
I think Mom and Dad separated and had separate residences, and that's just the way it was. But then what they got to do is they got to keep working.
With Full House no longer in production, some thought the careers of Marykate and Ashley were over, but that was far from true.
Even though they personally weren't on a weekly TV series, they were, you know, children could have access to, you know, different projects they worked on.
Yeah, I know that Marykate and Ashley got very busy, so for them it was kind of business as usual.
In the summer of 1995, the girls made their feature film debut in It Takes Two. The romantic comedy starred Kirstie Alley and Steve Guttenberg.
Kirstie Alley, she was really, really sweet to us. We had our birthday, well, basically on all the movies that you mentioned, we'd have our birthday while we were shooting, so we'd always be away, and she threw a big party for us, and she had her kids with her.
I found Marykate and Ashley Olsen to be incredibly difficult. I was just chagrined. I was amazed. They are very, very tough. They, you know, if you don't say your line right, they have one of these little stun guns. And they literally, I don't know if in Full House they did that to the guys on that, but they literally stun you, give you an electrical jolt. It's terrible. In all seriousness, they're such well-mannered kids and very talented and very smart, and just a delight, total delight.
Coming up, a major blow for 2 young careers.
Everyone was pretty shocked because we were getting good feedback.
And later, the girls go global with fashion.
We targeted the biggest retail chain in the world.
At the end of 1995, 8-year-old Marykate and Ashley Olsen were dealing with their parents' divorce and the cancellation of their long-running sitcom, Full House. At a time when many thought they would just disappear, the Olsen girls were hard at work on 2 video series that had been created for them. In 1996, Marykate and Ashley played a couple of trenchcoat twins with a knack for solving crimes.
Olsen and Olsen Mystery Agency will solve any crime Drive-by dinner time.
That's them. That's them doing their crime-solving stuff and all that stuff that they do, and kids love it.
Maybe there is no mystery here. What? Maybe these sharks can really sing. Sharks can't sing. There's gotta be a mystery. But we don't have any clues. No clues, no mystery.
The following year, the girls made 5 installments of their You're Invited to Marykate and Ashley's video series.
And basically, we had a birthday party. There was dance party, beach party. One of them we got to go to Hawaii and film. Ballet party, New York. So basically, we've traveled a lot throughout with these series of videos.
While working on the video series, Marykate and Ashley formed a relationship with costume designer Judy Swartz.
I met Marykate and Ashley and Jill, and there was like an immediate bond that went on. They're just, the girls themselves are so well behaved and they're so polite that it was actually a pleasure to work with them.
Judy gave the 10-year-olds a few fashion tips.
Before Judy, we would wear, or Marykate would wear tight leggings. No. I had my favorite shorts that I would never ever take off. They were like tight spandex shorts with fringe. She would wear those like every day. And you were like baggy clothes or baggy clothes and clothes. Like, I don't know what you were. We were pretty bad before Judy. Yeah, pretty bad.
I became somewhat attached to the girls, and you know, the phone calls kept coming in, and I really enjoyed working with them. And so, I believe there was a series they came up, and they called me to design the pilot for them.
That pilot was for a sitcom called Two of a Kind. It marked Marykate and Ashley's return to series television. The girls were almost 12, and like any normal preteen, they wanted a more sophisticated look.
I really realized more and more how, you know, children these days really want to dress a certain way, and that really wasn't out there. And so we decided that we were going to go buy all adult clothes and cut them down. So we hired a professional tailor who was used to making patterns, and so that's what we did.
While the girls loved their fashions, they had reservations about their characters.
What they did is they took how they saw that they wanted us to be a certain way. So they basically said, who's more girly? And I was like, probably me. So they made me a big girly character who likes to shop and who's very prissy, and then they made Marykate
like who's sporty, and I'm like, I'm sporty sort of, and they're like, you mean sporty one.
So they made it exaggerated.
They felt like that's what people were thinking, what they're really like. And Marykate is not that tomboyish, and Ashley is certainly not that prissy and let's go shopping.
Two of a Kind premiered in September 1998 as part of ABC's TGIF lineup. The show failed to capture the girls' former Full House audience and was canceled after 1 season.
Everyone was pretty shocked because we were getting good feedback, and it was doing okay in the TGIF lineup, and usually 1 season they're going to get, you know, we thought we were going to be picked up. It wasn't.
We were sad because, you know, for a season you kind of get attached, but it wasn't like Full House, because Full House was something really special.
Oh, they weren't happy about it. They weren't devastated. It was like losing losing a ball game or something.
I mean, 1 season, yeah, they were attached, but it took up, a series takes up a lot of time, and they were the stars, and they were in almost every scene, so it was a lot of work.
With the rigors of doing a network sitcom behind them, Marykate and Ashley had time to work on a new feature-length home video.
Billboard Dad, it was the first, really, I think, the edgiest movie that we've probably done from there, a show.
Yo, Lovestruck, put this on my back. I don't want to get sunburned. Right already. Punch your slave. Oops. You know, if you concentrated as much on your diving as you do on the diving instructor, you might have a chance to win the regionals. I can't help it. He's a hunkosaurus.
And it was a lot of fun, and there was it was a beachy movie, and then from there, that's where it got edgier, and that's where we grew up more. I'm trying to explain it, Mary Kate. Keep going. Find him a date by drawing something on a billboard.
This one's a doctor. A concert cellist. And a fashion model.
Oh.
Come on, Dad, just go on a couple dates, please. Please, Dad, for us. Please. Please.
Oh.
Please, please, please.
All right.
And then we go through many girls and finally found the one.
30s N/S, ISOSM, B and B for R and M. You need a code book to decipher these things. It's easy. Single white female, in her 30s, non-smoker.
Billboard Dad debuted in November 1998 and sold 1.5 million copies in its first 6 months of release. In the wake of this success, the Olsen girls flew to France to shoot their next direct-to-video feature, Passport to Paris.
Passport to Paris was a lot of fun to make. It was we really wanted to go to Paris, so they said, they made a story, they made a movie around going to Paris, and so we had the best time. It was so much fun. And we got to bring a friend along. Both we got to bring friends.
It was more of a kind of like a perk for their friends. For instance, if the girls went away on some movies where they would be gone for a length of time, I'd be able to negotiate having their friends go with them for part of the filming of a movie.
With one success after the next, it was clear that Marykate and Ashley were here to stay.
Spring fling with gorgeous Shane. And perfect Kyle. And that still leaves time for hanging at the mall. Why can't it be spring break all year round?
The question begged to be asked. Would they be able to dodge the pitfalls of childhood stardom?
I think they'll be able to avoid them because they have already. They've been in the business for 14 years. They have such a level head. I can't imagine them just going way off the deep end all of a sudden because they're so just grounded now.
With them, they're not going to have any problem at all. I think these are two really happy girls. I think they're really down to earth, and I think that they're going to be very successful in life as well as business.
Hopefully they won't get that burnout that like a lot of child stars do, that when they get bitter, or they look back and they think that they've lost all these things, and they get really resentful.
There's people around them making sure that they're staying on track.
Well, we've got so many adults around us that keep us grounded that I don't think that's possible. That could never happen to us. There's too many people that love us and care for us and just want the best for us. That can never happen.
When Celebrity Profile returns,
where can we get your clothes? Where can we get your clothes? We love your clothes.
And later,
it was scary. It was scary.
in the fall of 1999, 13-year-old Marykate and Ashley Olsen had their own company, Dual Star Entertainment. They were also back on ABC in Switching Goals, a movie for the wonderful world of Disney.
Switching Goals we filmed in Toronto, and it's like a soccer movie. I'm sporty once again, and I'm really good at soccer, and Ashley's girly, and we play, like the soccer season comes up, and my dad's a coach, and my mom's a therapist, and the dad always wants to win, so he always wants me to go on the on his team. And our mom decides that Ashley has to go on his team, so I have to pretend to be really good. And then I have to go on the very bad team, and then we switch places, so switching goals.
Don't be so hard on yourself. I mean, you're pretty decent at sports. Decent? I'm the only kid in the history of Evansville to strike out in T-ball. Well, Mark McGuire used to strike out in T-ball. Is that true? No. But if it makes you feel any better,
I would trade every single one of those trophies for just one of the looks you get from all the guys at school. What are you talking about? Guys are always coming up to you. The only guy who's approached me lately was a middle school football coach, and he was looking for a place kicker.
The girls also released a video, "You Were Invited to Marykate and Ashley's Fashion Party."
When we started doing the fashion videos and the fashion parties and all of that, they developed a sense of style where they experimented, you know, different silhouettes of clothing, and what would this look like if I put this in my hair, what would this look like if I, you know, cut off. I helped them allow themselves to really come out in their own style, which they've developed really well.
It's going to take some effort. But Carol was right. If you love what you do, then it doesn't seem like work. Totally. What's that? Well, everything in our closet seemed boring to me, so I decided it was time for something new and exciting.
Judy thought it would be a good idea to make fashion part of the dual star empire. Head of production, Jill Zimmerman.
Well, it started because kids are constantly writing in, especially on Two of a Kind is really when it started. Where can we get your clothes? Where can we get your clothes? We love your clothes. And Judy, their stylist, was going to Robert and saying we really should do a clothing line.
Dual star president, Robert Thorne.
Judy Swartz was after me for a couple of years to take their passion for fashion and their reputation among their fan base for being fashionable to another level, to the stores.
I started talking to Robert about it, and he'd say, yes, you know, it's a good idea, but not now. And I would hear a good idea, but not now. And at that point, I believe it was maybe about 9 months ago, I got a phone call, and Robert says, now.
We targeted the biggest retail chain in the world, and we got their interest, Walmart.
Walmart was the target that we wanted to go with because of the fan base for the girls. We wanted, you know, affordable, stylish clothes for the general public.
It's our clothes that we wear cut down, and there's accessories, there's swimsuits, there's sportswear, what else is it? Shoe wear, sleepwear, and eyeglass wear, and it's just all the things that we wear for little kids, because basically all of our clothes that we wear are adult clothes cut down, and so just make it easier for little kids to have it in their sizes.
The girls took an active role in the fashion line.
And Ashley and Marykate are very, very, very involved in the design process.
We help design. Yeah, we help design, and we're really involved with the process. We help design it, and then she'll come to us, and then we'll say if we like it or not, or changes, and then they'll bring us a sample, and then we'll change it, and then they have to go change it, and then they'll show us the final thing, and we get to approve if it goes out into the store or not.
The general public, you know, sees Marykate and Ashley out with the Walmart line. They're like, okay, well, who's really doing it? Well, it's really Marykate and Ashley. They're really firm about putting their name on their products, and they want to know that it's something that they would wear. Otherwise, they don't want it out there.
And we love fashion, and we've always wanted to have a fashion line, like maybe when we got older, but now we can really have one.
When Celebrity Profile returns,
So we walk out, we're like, oh my gosh, there were 20,000 people there.
by June of 2000, the popularity of Marykate and Ashley Olsen was enormous, with TV movies, video series, books, and a line of teen fashions. The 14-year-old twins were stars and entrepreneurs. This was evident when they made an appearance at Minnesota's Mall of America.
It was one of the scariest things, but one of the most exciting things that ever happened.
When I walked out there and saw 20,000 people, I got nervous for them. I thought, oh gosh, now do I go down? Do I tell them how many people are there? Or do we just go down and just say, there's a lot of people there, you'll be fine? And I decided, I'm not going to tell them how many people are there.
We thought that maybe there is a couple hundred people.
They start hearing Olsen's, Olsen's, and I mean, instantly both of their hands that were holding mine just got completely sweaty. They were so nervous. Chilly, we can't go up there, we can't go up there, this is scary.
So we walk out, we're like, oh my gosh, there were 20,000 people there. It was scary. Like it was scary.
And then they kind of looked at each other and said, this is cool, this is exciting.
But you think, why would 20,000 people come to see us? Marykate and Ashley just doesn't make sense.
It may not make sense to the girls, but Marykate and Ashley's appeal continues to grow, especially among boys.
They look at boys, but and they seem to have kind of the same taste in boys, which can be a problem sometimes.
Sometimes or especially when we're casting people and we both want the same guy, then that's a problem, so you have to switch off.
By the end of 2000, the empire expanded to include a website, a teen magazine, and a project not starring the girls.
So, books, video games, clothing, music, fashion dolls and accessories. This is a large part of their career, their brand now.
And the twins signed a deal with the Fox Family Channel to return to television in their own series. Though Marykate and Ashley Olsen have lived their lives in the spotlight, those around them agree they remain unaffected.
They really don't think that much about themselves as much as they do as, you know, everybody else around, kids their age or younger kids or anything like that. They're really well-rounded girls.
They travel, they go to school, you know they have to get their work done on set, you know, for school. And you know, they try over 100% with everything they do. Their attitudes are so good.
I hope that whatever they really want to do, whatever their dreams are, that they can do them and they can be really successful at them.
And I think they both really aspire to go to a good college. School's important to them. Educate themselves, get into the real world by themselves.
I don't contemplate their being married at 24, but having a company with maybe 100 employees and a lot of executives.
And I think they'll just continue working, and if it's doing their videos or moving on to another, you know, television show, I can see them in the business for a while.
My guess would be they'd maybe like to move into the feature division.
They are mega stars now, and that they've kind of created their whole their own cottage industry, so to speak, of Marykate and Ashley being a brand name.
I want them to be happy and enjoy their life and just let the earth give them what it's supposed to in a beautiful way.
She's always there for me when I need her, and she's my best friend. She's everything. Everything. She means everything. I love her. She's my best friend.
It's a wrap! It's a wrap! I missed so many lines, but that's okay.